Welcome to Transforming and Thriving
with best friends Brooke, Stacie, and Neelia.
Podcast dedicated to women sharing their inspirational stories.
Hey there, everyone. As many of you know, we started a philanthropy initiative last fall, and we're proud to keep partnering with the Wellness and Prevention Center in South Orange County. They opened up a new alcove space in San Juan Capistrano last year, offering youth ages 12 to 25 a welcoming space for mental and physical health support, substance use navigation, peer connection, and help with school or work. We're continuing our commitment by matching up to $1,000 in listener donations. Your support truly helps sustain safe, empowering spaces like Alcove. Check the link in our show notes to donate, follow at WPCOC on Instagram, and learn more at alcove.org. Thank you so much for supporting these vital youth programs.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode. I'm Neelia.
And I'm Stacie. Today, we are honored to have two truly inspiring guests with us, Courtney Cretikos and Kerri Hatfield. This is the first time we've had two. I'm so excited. Courtney is an executive board member of the Kure It Women's Guild and serves as the Director of Strategy and Development. Kerri is the president of the Kure It Women's Guild. Their work is a testament to the profound impact that everyday people can have on their community. We are so excited to hear about their journey and the incredible work they do.
Thank you so much for being here today. To the both of you, Courtney and Kerri. How are you both today?
Great.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much for having us.
And
We're
really
so excited to you.
So are we. We are super excited to have you both. And we're so grateful that we get to listen to you and your story and also learn more about the Kure It Women's Guild. We really appreciate it.
Yes, I am thrilled to have you both here. And I can't wait to learn more about all the incredible work you're doing and your organization. But to start, let's dive right in. And whoever would like to share kind of a personal story, maybe that relates to this organization or your why. What is a major transition or life event you experienced that marked a before and after in your life?
So I'll go ahead and start. This is Kerri. When my kids were young, and we found time to be part of the PTA, be part of Boy Scouts and all those things. And as the kids got older and didn't reap the benefits of the PTA in high school or what I was doing, I was looking for somewhere else to make a difference. And so a friend of ours invited us to come check out the Women's Guild of Kure It. And so we went and really thought the mission and this behind it was brilliant. Yet the program was a little lax. They really didn't have a program. We just kind of came, they served us lunch and said, "Will you help?" but didn't have any kind of direction as to where we were going. So it started off where I and two other women said, either we need to make this a true guild or we need to go find somewhere that could utilize us. And so that's how the new rendition of the Women's Guild started. We went out and said, okay, let's go into our neighborhood, into our community, and find women who were like-minded and wanted a purpose more so than just the day-to-day what they were doing. And so we formed a Kure It Women's Guild, and we not only support events that Kure It, the foundation, puts on, we have created events on our own that we have done to raise money for cancer research. As a matter of fact, we just finished our big pickleball tournament, which was on Sunday, called the Big Deal. So that was how we started and what we are doing. Courtney, do you want to tell them about what Kure It actually does? Because I don't think that gave much of a background as to who Kure It is. That got me how I got to Kure It.
Sure, I would love to. So Kure It began in 2007, and it was started by a man named Barry Hoven, who was battling his own diagnosis with kidney cancer. And Barry was talking with his oncologist asking, what kind of treatments are available to me. And unfortunately, because it was such an underfunded cancer, there wasn't very many treatment options available. So Barry got together with his friends. He was very big in the storage industry. And he developed this Roundup for Research program, which they all got together and asked each one of the people that rent storage units for them if they would like to donate 50 cents per unit each month to round up for cancer research. Well, that Roundup for Research program provides over $650,000 a year for Kure It to fund all of our staff, all the salaries, overhead, office space, so that it allows Kure It to give 100% of the proceeds that we raise directly towards underfunded cancer research. And so I think that that's really important that people know that 100% of every dollar that we accumulate through all of our campaigns that we run goes directly towards cancer research. And because of the program that Barry founded, they were able to develop in real time some groundbreaking therapeutics that help extend his life for over 13 years, which was unheard of, back when Barry was first diagnosed. So what Kure It does is it raises money and gets it in the hands of researchers in real time because, as you know, cancer patients don't have that luxury to wait. And we honor Barry by spelling Kure It with a K to represent his battle with kidney cancer.
Wow, that sounds amazing, and I really admire and love what you do. What personally motivated you, Courtney, to become involved with the Cure It Women's Guild?
Okay, so I actually think Kerri has a more meaningful why, but here's how I got involved with the Cure It Women's Guild. Is I just moved to the neighborhood and my next door neighbor, Beth, asked me if I wanted to go to a gala and see a U2 cover band. And I was like, heck yeah. And when I was there, as they were showing the video on stage, and there was this young girl that had red hair and she was playing soccer on the field. And, then the next clip, this little girl's going to the doctor. And the next scene, she's got all these IVs and she's hooked up to all these machines and she's lost her beautiful hair and was spending birthdays and other holidays in the hospital. And then the scene went black and the lights came back up on stage and out walks this young lady with red hair. And when she steps up to the microphone, she said, that little girl in the video was me. And because of the research that Cure It has done, I was able to survive and thrive and live through my cancer. And it is now gone, which I thought was remarkable. So I came for the fun and I stayed for the purpose, and I've jumped in with both feet ever since then.
That's impressive and very admirable of you.
Yeah.
And what about you, Kerri? What inspired you or motivated you?
Well, the day I graduated from college, my parents came out to celebrate. And as we were leaving, my mom said, could we just do a quick stop at the local hospital? I found a lump. And unfortunately, we did stop by on the way home, and it was cancer. And so my mom fought. She came out of remission. She had an 8-year from time of diagnosis to her passing, but she was relatively young. And so that's always been a little thing in my heart is, cancer has hit my home. And unfortunately, since that time, you can't throw a rock without finding someone that's been affected by it. And in turn, we all know somebody, so we've all been affected by it. But I sort of took my mission as, what can I do so that my children don't lose their mother before they're 30? Is there anything little old me could possibly do that would make a difference? And so back to when I went to this lunch meet, I said, this is something that's important. What is it that I can do? And so that's how we kind of stayed, how I got there and then why I stayed.
Wow, what powerful story. And like you said, sadly, something that so many people can relate to, like how you said you can't throw a rock now without finding someone who has it. It's so true. And it's neat to hear the direct impact that it sounds like this organization is having through raising money and having the funds go directly to help with research. I want to hear so much more about it. And I love that you're both involved. And thank you for sharing. I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. And it sounds like that kind of lit a fire for you and fueled you to make sure that you're doing everything you can to prevent that in your own life and then also help others, which is incredible. I'm sure you have so many powerful stories that you have witnessed being a part of this organization. I mean, I got the chills when you were sharing that initial story, Courtney, about the little girl playing soccer and coming back on stage. It's one thing to hear about a cause and another to see its direct impact. I'm wondering if either one of or both of you can maybe share like a specific story or moment where you've seen the positive impact of this work and what the organization's doing that like really resonated with you personally.
I could hog the microphone at this point because there are so many really fascinating things that Kure It has done. We're a tiny grassroots organization. The foundation has 4 employees. The we have about 12 board of directors and medical advisors that put in their time for free. And then the Women's Guild is just a bevy of volunteers who just give of themselves. That alone is just so enlightening to see that these people take time out of their professional life, their family life to be a part of the organization. But back to a similar story with Courtney is we had a friend whose sister was being told that she has I can't recall what form of cancer she had, but basically the steps that she was going through, they didn't give her a lot of further hope. They didn't give her a lot of options. And one of the things that we hang our hat on here at Kure It is that you contact us, you meaning anybody, give us a phone call and say, I have hit a dead end. And we would go out to our bevy of people and kind of say, hey, is there anything you can do? So in this particular case, she had said, I'm getting dead ends. And we reached out to our advisory board and the people we know at City of Hope and whatnot. And they said, hey, have her come see us. And they put her on a trial that changed her life. They found a trial that they were conducting that has extended and she is still with us. And so things like that, a lot of times, I don't know, I've never had cancer. Who do I talk to? And we get lost in something of that nature. And so we're trying to connect those dots for people. And it's like, okay, we hear a trial over here, or we hear something going on over here, or let's, help be that connector.
I love that, Kerri. And what about you, Courtney?
Oh, absolutely. I've made that call several times, and our director, Brooke, has just been somebody that you can, and Kerri too. These 2 women are women that not only talk the talk, they walk the walk. And if they say, reach out to me, they really mean it. Kure It we like to refer to ourselves as a boutique nonprofit, which, what does that mean? It means immediate funding and going directly towards cancer research. And we fund really big and bold ideas. And that person that Kerri was talking about, I know exactly, they had a certain type of lung cancer and they weren't getting everything that they could be getting at where they were being treated. And so, we work with a lot of different comprehensive cancer centers, Cedars-Sinai, UCI, UCLA, and we have such a special relationship with the City of Hope that this person was transferred to City of Hope, which, by the way, is only a cancer hospital. They don't treat anything else besides cancer there. And they have super specialists, which means that you could have one certain type of lung cancer, and there is a specific team that only focuses on that type of lung cancer. And so for each different type of cancer, they have an entire team dedicated to that specifically. So you're not just getting a general broadband overall oncologist, you are getting the best and brightest minds behind the science and the research. And we really cultivate relationships with our researchers, which allow us the capabilities to pick up that phone and say, hey, I'm sending Uncle Bob over on Tuesday. He's got his test results came up with this. Let's get him in. And they roll out the red carpet for Uncle Bob. And I've made that call several times for people that I know that have been diagnosed with cancer. And one of my former high school teachers was able to have his life extended by 2 years after his first initial diagnosis was not looking well, just because of the therapeutics and groundbreaking research that they were able to do to help prolong his life.
Wow.
That is incredible. Yeah, I have a personal share real quick, ladies. You have me tearing up because my mom currently is in advanced stages of kidney cancer and she's going to City of Hope. And I might want to get involved with your organization. We can chat later. But I just think it's incredible the work you're doing and that you're helping to advocate for individuals who might not know where to find resources or have the ability to ask for them. And I love how you said you roll the red carpet out for them. And there are just so many amazing treatments and trials available that people just don't even know about. So I really love your mission and the work you're doing. And thank you for sharing some of these personal stories as well.
You bring up a good point. We have communities out here that don't even know what's available to them. And a lot of, you get to that point, I have cancer, now what? But even before that, there are people that don't know that there's screenings to be had. And so we also we have a program that we go out to communities, underserved communities specifically, to say, hey, here are some screenings. Here are things available to you that you might not be familiar with. Some of the communities are you only know what you've been told. And if they've come from a different medical history or background beliefs, might not even realize there's something more to be had. And so not just do we raise money for organizations to do medical research, but someone might come to us and say, I've got a platform that I'd like to create. There might be something like an app. So we look at all sorts of things when they come to us and say, hey, what could we do? Or what could we fund? We fund trials, we fund drugs, we fund applications. So it's quite a broad range of activities in which we fund.
That all sounds pretty amazing. Like Stacie, I've had my own personal experience with cancer and definitely had that shocking reality because you don't think, when you're younger and you're healthy and you're going about your day to day, like, oh, I should probably prepare or screen myself. Like, I didn't know there were screenings out there. And now there's so many that people don't know of. And it's almost like you find out about it when it's a little too late. So I really appreciate that you do provide those, especially for communities that might not have access to immediate resources or knowledge. I'd love to also ask you both, how has joining this guild and this experience shaped you in your lives personally?
Sure, I'll go first. They say whenever you're feeling low, do something for somebody else. And we all go through ups and downs in our life. And, there was a point a few years ago that was a really low point for me. And I am so grateful that the Women's Guild came along because not only is the mission behind the Women's Guild and behind Kure It so important, but if you really want to level up your friend game, I'm telling you, there's something about connecting with, passionate, community driven women that believe when you lead with heart and you work together with a purpose, you can really change lives. And that's exactly what we're doing. The Women's Guild, we kind of refer ourselves as the beehive. Kerri's our queen bee, obviously. And we all do different jobs and follow our specific talents. And the talents can range from anywhere from graphic design or, just taking great pictures and throwing them on Instagram, or being good at networking. There's always room for new people and fresh ideas to make our hive even better. And it's really important that we do get to see the impact of the work that we are doing. And it feels so good to be able to take those tours, behind the scenes tours of hospitals and laboratories where we see where all of our money is going and the lives that it's transforming. It feels like magic in real life, actually, to be a part of something. It's emotional and it's inspiring, and it really does something to your own soul to give to other people, and especially those that are suffering and need it the most in their darkest hours. It fills your cup to be of service.
And along those lines of what Courtney was saying, I'm a big believer in purpose. I think everyone has a purpose and needs to find their purpose. That's kind of why you're here. It's not just to go to work and just to make dinner every night. Those are all important things. But then what's your purpose behind that? And how are you making a difference? And so I think that's what I get out of Kure It is, I take pride that I've raised two human beings that are going to make this world better. And I take pride that my husband and I have started a business that has thrived and, we've raised our family on. But then I take a lot of pride that I'm making a difference. I'm giving back. I'm trying to counter the negative of a disease of cancer. And my purpose is to help others, to raise funds, to find cures. And so I think that that's a driving force. And part of this, like she said, we call ourselves the beehive because we're a bunch of women who, the bees aren't supposed to fly because their bodies are heavier than those wings, but they just work really hard and make it happen. And that's kind of what we look at, is that we're a beehive. We work real hard and we just make it happen.
That I love the analogy of a beehive. That's beautiful. And yeah, it sounds like you're both finding so much purpose, and it sounds like you have an amazing group of people who are involved and doing this work. Since you have so much experience and such a wealth of wisdom and knowledge and time doing this work, I'm curious if maybe there is a piece of advice or encouragement that comes to mind that you might give someone who either just found out they have been diagnosed with cancer or have a loved one who has.
Well, sure. At the end of the day, you know, the what we believe is there's one simple truth. When we come together and support each other, there's no limit to what we can achieve. And I think that if there's life in the body, there's always hope. There's always, new science coming out, new visions, new ideas every day in the medical community. And not just aside from the medical community, but having your actual community and a good support system, having people that you can call and just cry to, or, have your funniest girlfriend come over and make you laugh because, healing is not just medicine. It is a combination of medicine and hope and faith and community. And I think that if at the end of it, if you have those things going for you, you've got a really good chance of beating the odds on this thing.
I also think, once upon a time, it was whispered, Susie has cancer. It wasn't something we talked about. And I don't understand why, but it certainly was something kept closer to the vest. I would say right now, talk about it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. So I would say talk about it, find support, don't hide. Talk to people, ask questions, look for opinions. You're not alone. Whether you're the patient or you're a loved one of the patient, you're obviously not alone. So finding, the community that Courtney talked about is super important. Continue to ask questions and do your research and find what's out there, because there's constantly things learning. When I lost my mom almost 30 years ago, it's a whole different ballgame. And, even to 5 years ago, so much has happened. And so just because someone told you that this is what happened to them 5, 6, 7 years ago, do your research and keep looking for what's out there, because the strides that are being made across the board are really inspirational.
I love that message of what you're saying is basically, you got to be your own advocate. And it's really helpful to see how you've both been able to connect your personal experiences and then yet at the same time connect with a larger mission to help others. Would you mind sharing how people can find you or get more involved?
Well, we would like to start by inviting them to come to one of our meetings and find out what we're about. There's a lot of guilds out there that cost thousands of dollars every year to be a part of. And we are only $100. That's our annual dues. And with that, you get to come to all of our events and participate and really lend your voice and lend your time to an organization that really values you. We're not just after money. Of course, that's nice, but we really are about building community and working together and putting some fun in fundraising. We like to have a good time at the Women's Guild. We host fun events like pickleball tournaments and sip-in shops at our local boutiques. We even go to the races and have dinners together. And we just like to bring some joy to people's lives that are dealing with this or that want to bring a little lightness and confidence to themselves and be able to network, because you never know who you're going to meet. And the next person that you could get introduced to at one of these could change your life. And that's what I found that has been very rewarding to me personally.
To those thinking if that's something, how can they get involved? We're at cureit.org, and then there's a tab for the Women's Guild, and can give some information, ways to get in contact with us. We've got Instagrams and Facebook as well under the Kure It Women's Guild. But really what we're looking is, what is it that you have to offer? Because we don't want to ask people to join the hive and feeling like it's going to be overwhelming. We don't want to overwhelm them with activities. But like Courtney was saying, is if you're a graphic designer, by all means, we could use someone to help us create our flyers for events. If you're someone that knows somebody or an organization that has funds, well, heck yeah, we can help raise money with those people. If you are someone that just has a network of women that want to get involved somewhere else, we could use that network of women just to come and be guests to events. So we have a group of people that aren't really hands-on, but they come and they go to the events, which we raise money for from those events. When she talks about the shop and sip, well, we need those bodies just to get there to shop. But we need the worker bees that can set up the shopping event, but we can just let you know when we have these events that you can come. So it takes all kinds to have a successful women's guild. And if you can think of, oh, I fit into that, or I fit into that, come on and join along with us and see where we can go from there. Love to have you.
I love that. And we will be sure to include all of your contact information and how they can connect with you, how they can sign up, how they can volunteer, reach out to you on social media. Basically, we'll put all the details in the show notes. But we just want to say thank you so much for sharing both of your stories and everything that you shared today about the Kure It and your personal stories. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if there's any last comments you'd like to share with us, we just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you both so much for having us on your show. And we like to do this because it matters so much to both of us. We do this for people waiting on a cure, and we do it for the ones that never got the chance. And we do it for the future that we believe is possible. And we really appreciate your time in getting our message across. And we would really like to invite your audience to come to any one of our events that we're having and just see what we're all about. I promise you, we are the fun group. We are the nice girls. We are the girls that you can sit next to at any occasion.
For sure. And thank you guys so much for what you do and allowing us to tell you our story, allowing you to hear who we are. Kure It is a small grassroots organization. So getting our feelers out there or just to let people hear who we are is truly appreciated. So thank you to you ladies for what you offer the community. We appreciate that.
Well, we appreciate the work you're doing as well, and you do sound like a fun group of gals to hang out with. So I will definitely be looking up the upcoming events since I'm local. And yeah, anyone listening, go check out their website. It's going to be in the show notes too, and we'll have your Instagram handles and everything. It'll all be in the show notes. But yeah, Kure It with a K.org. And thank you. It's been a pleasure having you ladies. And yeah, look forward to hopefully connecting with you in the future.
Thank you.
To all of our listeners, thank you for joining us on this episode of Transforming and Thriving. We'll be back with more inspiring stories on the first Monday of each month. Please follow us on your favorite podcast app and follow us on Instagram so you can be a part of this community and stay up to date with each episode. Please feel free to leave a review so that we can get your valuable feedback and other people can find these powerful stories. Check out our website as well at transformingandthriving.com. We're all in this crazy life together, so let's move through it together. See you there.